What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to episode number, is it 12, 13? We've been through so much in this series so far, and we're just getting started. We're just in the couple of first years of this franchise mode. And in order to keep that franchise going, we need to keep winning, which is kind of the way we're looking right now. We sit in first in our division, 59 points. However, that lead is not secure by any means, because if you check out the rest of the Central Division, we're all separated by just 10 points. 10 points only. So we still got a lot of work to do, and right now we're on, I guess it'd be the All-Star break when it's not even in the game, which would be kind of nice to, have All-Stars. That'd be kind of nice, right, EA? But what I wanted to do this episode was, I was like, do I want to go the rest of the season, which would be about 34 games, or do I want to split it in half, which would be about 17 games, or to be to the trade deadline, which would only be about a month, which isn't really fun. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go all the way to the rest of the regular season. That's the goal for today's video. Plus, we have some trades. And I don't want every video to have trades in it, but since we're going to be leading up to the trade deadline and into the, or right up to the playoffs, I figured if we're going to make moves and we're going to be the best team possible right now going forward, we need to make these moves right now. So the first part of this video is going to be a little stale, but we got a bunch of trades. I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible. And this first trade, you guys know we've had some backup goalie problems here in Chicago. And I think I made a decision. We got to trade Forsberg. Right now is his best potential. Plus, he's on a one-year deal. And most likely, if we want him back, we can always get him back next year if we really want him to. But for right now, we're going to trade him away. And we're actually going to go over to St. Louis. And you may think, why would you take any of their NHL guys because they're doing so great this year? Well, I'm not. I'm going to be going for the top guy in the AHL. Is it Jordan? I think it's Jordan Bennington. Obviously, he's done real well in real life. And you look at his numbers right there, and they're pretty darn good. So he is also on a one-year contract, no extension. So this one, I have 1-for-1 just to fix our backup problems. Hopefully that works. It does straight up. And I actually probably should have thrown a pick on there because there's a little bit more trade value on their side, or on my side going to them. But that gives us the backup goaltender. Let's get him in the lineup and move on to our next trade. So our next trade is also goaltender related, where if we're pushing to the playoffs, we're going to need 6 goaltenders. And we're going to need some depth here in Chicago. So we're going to be heading over to the Vegas Golden Knights, who are not really performing this year, but who is performing is their AHL goaltender in Oscar Dansk. This one is strictly for depth purposes, nothing really more than that. Hopefully he gets assigned down to the AHL and we can play him down there. But for a trade for him, we're going to be trading away Shrimp here. Basically, UFA goaltender that... the other guy that's unsigned there is doing a lot better than him. So if anyone we're going to sign, it's the other guy, not this guy. So simple 1-for-1 trade. Is this going to go through? No, it's not. So it looks like we're going to have to throw a pick in here as we move forward here. So what do we have for picks? We got a first-round pick. Okay, so we have a lot of fourth-round picks, a bunch of fifth-round picks. Okay, so I'm more than willing to give away a pick from this year. I guess we'll start right at the 7th here and move all the way down to what needs to be traded away. Let's see. So we got the 7th down. They don't want that. What about the 6th? Okay, there we go. So Shrimp in a 6th for Oscar Dansk. We'll put him in the lineup later on. Then the next trade is going to be to help out our penalty kill. Now, our penalty kill was doing great before. This would make it even better as we head over to the Edmonton Oilers. As you may not think these guys would have a good penalty killer on their team, but they do. And he also happens to be a former Chicago player in, where is he? Down here. Marcus Kruger, 1-year deal, just under 1.2 mil. And we're going to trade him away for Oscar Lindberg. Basically, 1-for-1. Kruger's better defensively. So in overall, this would definitely help. And it looks like the trade value is a little bit higher on our side. So I'm going to try to get a pick for next year because we already have a ton of picks for this year. So let's try to get one from next year. Let's start with a 4th. They probably won't accept that, but they do. So I was going to go right down to a 5th, but I figured, hey, let's just try the 4th. So that completes 3 of our trades so far, and we actually have 2 more. So it looks like we had to put him back in the lineup first, and then we'll go on to our 4th trade of the episode. We've been adding depth so far and fixing some issues. The next piece is going to be another depth move for us. We're heading over to the Carolina Hurricanes as we're going to pick up one of their defensemen. And this one, after looking through our roster, I had a trade kind of already planned out, and it didn't really work out because what I was going to get was a left-handed defenseman. Well, I already have a few extra left-handed defensemen that are ready to go. So what I didn't have was a right-hander. So in this case, we're going to be going down here to, I think is it Roland? If I remember correctly. Yeah, Roland McCown I'm going to go with. He is doing quite well this year in the AHL. 1-year deal, 25 years old, 79 overall. Another strictly depth move. Hopefully he gets assigned straight to the AHL. And we're going to be trading, I think is it Ludwig? Or is it something else? Lucas, okay. He looks Swedish, so whatever. But Lucas Carlson here, 1-for-1 trade for Roland McLeod. Will this one go through? No. So we're going to have to throw another pick into it. Once again, we'll probably just go from this year to see what happens here. So we got rid of our 6th. So out of all these teams, who's doing the worst? Well, actually, no, we want who's doing the best because we want the best pick. So let's go with our pick out of all these because I don't know the rest of the team's records. But it looks like this one's going to go straight through. So I'm going to go with, how about our 7th? And maybe if they don't accept that, I'll try to throw in a 5th. But all right, they don't want to do that. And just a bit low, so what if we can get that 7th out of this one? This is actually like crazy. I really shouldn't be doing this, but the only reason I'm doing this is because of all the extra picks from this year. All right, we overpaid a lot for him, but I think it's just because he's still considered like young and 25. But the next one, this is the big trade. Now all those ones were minor, 1-for-1. Throw a couple picks in there, and it'll probably go through. This one is the big one. We're heading to Anaheim. Now, you look at our team right now, and what are we missing? Top 4 defensemen. We have basically a defense filled with a whole bunch of people, but not necessarily good people. So, what I thought of was, after scrolling through the trade block and, just trying to look around for, key pieces I can get, this one is probably my most exciting move yet. So, Mr. Cam Fowler down here, 84 overall, 29 years old, 6.5 mil for another 6 years. Although, I don't really like the years on this contract. It'll take him to he's about 35 or so. And even if he doesn't work out, which I'm pretty sure he will because he's a top 4 defenseman. But he plays solid. He puts up some points. Can help us in the power play. And just overall is a top 4 defenseman, which is something we desperately need right now, especially with our our push towards the playoff comes up. So we're gonna try to acquire Fowler in this case, and in this we're gonna be giving up a bunch of prospects. Nothing really too crazy, but most of them were down here at the bottom. So we got this guy who I'm not even gonna try to pronounce. We got Malak there, and we have Robinson, along with a first-round pick from, I believe it's next year. Yeah, it's going to be next year's first. Too many players in my organization. Did I mistype something? So I'm going to add the third-round pick on here and then try to figure out a player to throw into this trade. Because, I know what it is. When I acquired that goaltender, that added one more spot. So, who doesn't want to be here anymore? Overall, all the way to the bottom. Okay, so they're still young. What about this guy? 7 points, 6th round pick of Buffalo. You haven't really performed. I guess you're the winner of the you're going to get traded sweepstakes. So how about that? So we got 3 prospects, I guess 4 technically if you want to put Hagel in there, and a 1st round pick to Anaheim for Cam Fowler and this year's 3rd round pick. Will this go through? It does, straight up. So that's good. That's really, really good because that's going to help our team out crazy right now. So that's great. We got our top 4 defensemen on our team. Let's go put him in the lineup and see how the new lineup looks. So after putting everyone back in the lineups and fixing lineups with the new people, it literally took like 20 minutes. We are back. So let's go look at the new lineup and see what everything looks like. So on forward, nothing really looks too much different except for Kruger back on the 4th line with us. Everything else stayed the same right now. We swapped Perlini up to the 1st line to see if we can get him going more this year. And we moved Sod down just to shake it up a little bit, see if we can get a new look up there. On defense, this is where it looks really good. Fowler's up there now playing top line with Boquist. 2nd line of Martinez and Miller. 3rd line of Keith and Yoki Haru. If you remember, was the last episode, the episode before, we got Aliu Levy. He is now down in the AHL. He did not have to go through waivers, so I figured if we put him down there, let him play down there, and hopefully he can get his game back because he wasn't really performing. So he's down there. Goaltenders, we got Bennington in the net, and then we actually have 3 guys scratched, none of which we can actually send down, which really sucks because they all have to go through waivers. And at this point, after all I did to acquire McCown and Dansk, I don't really want to lose them for nothing. So that's the lineup going forward right now. I know it's been a really, really long first part of this video, and I'm sorry for that. But we got to get through the trades, got to get through to the playoffs. So we're actually going to stop at the trade deadline, see if anyone wants to offer us anything. And if they don't, well, no matter what, we're going to turn injuries on after it and get through to the playoffs. Haig, he wanted before he wanted a one-way contract for like 1.5 mil for next year, and now he's got a two-year, 2-way contract at like $850K or something like that. So I figured I'd jump on that. Well, he wants the extension, and I know I want him here, so that's good. However, what's not good is the start to February here, as we've lost the first, 4 out of the first 5 games. Not what we want to see. 5 out of the first 6. So immediately following the trade, not the best of looks so far, but that's hopefully just the first part of the jitters getting out and getting the new team going. So on a couple of these games, we have gotten some points going to extra time, such as the overtime and shootout in Nashville and St. Louis and in Winnipeg. But all right, so it looks like we're going to stop at the trade deadline with the record of 32, 19, and 11. So essentially it's 32 and 30, which is not the best. But let's go see what the standings look like now after that month of February. Somehow we're still on top. But there's 4 teams within 1 point of each other. So although we're still on top, we still need to do better. So let's get through here, see if anyone offers us a trade. And starting at that Nashville game on the 27th, we will turn on injuries and see what happens from there. So a big loss against New Jersey, 7-6 fashion. But let's go turn on injuries and get back and make the push for the playoffs. All right, we're back and injuries are now on. So let's make our push for the playoffs. Give me a little bit of a longer episode. Like I said at the start, it's either try to break this up into 2 and not really have much content for each video, or we make it all one big video, get all the trades done, and get the push for the playoffs just rolling here in the month of March. All right, we fixed the lineup once again. Meetings, don't care about those. I don't know why I didn't turn those off. Another injury in the AHL. Let's fix him and continue on. We actually had 2 injuries in the AHL, so I had to fix that real quick. We got another injury, or no, he's actually coming back to play. Here we go. We're out west here, and now we're heading right back east. Another injury in the AHL. I wish I could turn off injuries for the AHL and only put them on for the NHL, but unfortunately we can't do that, as soon as one player gets injured, another one comes back. Easy peasy. Let's keep going here. 37 wins so far, and now here we go. Unfortunately, I jinxed it. JerkyXP has been injured with a bruised hand. So we got McCown up there already, so that's something we don't have to worry about. But let's get him into the lineup here, as he's all the way down here. There we go. Fix him. There we go. Sometimes it's nice having extra players up there, but it's also not, because I want them to be playing and not just sitting. So before I can even come back, we had another injury in the NHL. Frolik got injured, so we called up Lewis to fill his spot. And somehow we had 40 wins, and then now we don't. So that's interesting. But here we go. Let's fix the lineup one more time as we put Lewis out of the lineup, and Frolik disappeared. Wait, Frolik's... What? Didn't it not say Frolik was back? But either way, I guess we got JerkyXP back, so we can put him back in the lineup at least. Unless he's somehow magically out too. But there we go. So no one else is... Okay, so that was weird. But alright, so we'll just continue with them out of the lineup there. And I could have sworn we were at 40 wins already, because I was about to make a comment about that. But apparently it wasn't us. So 39 wins, 25 losses, 14 overtime losses. Now Frolik's back. So we got to put... who was it? Lewis. And send him down. So send him down. He's got to go through waivers. And he cleared. So that's good, because now I don't have to clear him through waivers anymore. But let's fix this and get right back into it. Alright, so a flurry of injuries just happened. We lost Strome to an injury. We lost someone else to an injury. A couple of injuries in the AHL. And before I can even say anything, everything just happens at once. So let's get these guys back in the lineup, get ourselves playoff ready. And I believe we are at the day before the playoffs actually start. And I think we might have one game left if I'm not mistaken. So let's get to it. Yep, we got one last game with Colorado. So I believe we're in the playoffs. Let's just double check that. Yes, we are. So 98 points. We don't win the division, unfortunately, but we come in second place, so that's good. Strome missed the last 2 games there. He would have been in there the entire year, but he missed the last 2 games with injury. So unfortunately that had to happen, but we are in the playoffs. So let's get into the stats review, the standings review. We'll see who we face in the first round of the playoffs. And we'll see what happens here. So, as per usual, we got the dynamic duo of Strome and Kane. 40-goal year for Kane. Almost hit the 90-point mark. 301 shots. That's absolutely incredible. The second line of Saad, DeBrincat, and Duchesne did pretty well. Like I said, I would love to have someone to be able to play with this top line. But I don't really know who that I want that to be, because I want them to kind of be more of a... Maybe I'll do what Washington does and kind of pair their dynamic duo with like a grittier guy like Tom Wilson or somebody like that. So that might be a goal for the off season. But we got Saad, different guy. We already went through them. Perlini, a lot better of a year than I thought he was going to do. Solani and Koivu, not bad years. I mean, obviously I'd love more out of them, but you can't always get what you want. Taves didn't really have the best offensive or defensive year. Only -1, but you'd like to have a little bit more out of that. We called up McLeod when Strome went down, so he's playing on the third line with whoever's there. Let's check on the defense, where Boquist led the way for our defense. You absolutely love to see that. 86 overall. We still got 2 more years for him to see what he can do under the entry-level contract. Fowler, great pickup there. Martinez, another great pickup. He put up the points that we needed. Keith maintaining there with points, however, didn't do the best defensively. Miller and JerkyXP down there. McCown did pretty all right there. Jordan Binghamton. What the heck, bro? You're supposed to come in here and be a god. But he didn't get it done. However, he's still a backup goalie. So we got Saros starting in the net. Quick glance through the AHL. Goaltenders did well. Defense, Forsland leading the way down there. Levy did well when he was down there. That's good to see, though, just in case we need him for the NHL run. And then 14 led the way for the forwards. So here's a look at the final standings of the year. The Pittsburgh Penguins, 59 wins. Couldn't hit the 60, but 125 points for them. We ended in 8th overall. And if you could imagine, even half of those overtime losses as wins, we'd be up in the 105-point range too. So, although it's a good year, you can always do better. So we are number 8 overall. Let's check on the stats here. So we sit 3rd overall in goals for. You love to see that. Defensively, although we're probably in the top 15. I'd still love to get that a little bit better if we can play better throughout the year rather than at the end of the year. That'd be fantastic. What do we got now? Power play goals. We are top 4. You'd love to see that. So a great power play out of us. 22.2% puts us in 4th place as well for that. You actually just love to see that. We allowed some shorthanded goals against us, but that's not really the word here. So 82.2%. Still a great power play. I believe we're in the top 10. Maybe that's top 15. You'd love to see that. Shorthanded goals 4. We had 4 goals there. The home and away records look a lot better than they were. Home, we started to learn how to win there. Away, we kind of maintained the better look. And we're 4-6 in the last 10. So we kind of maintained our success a little bit. We dropped off at the end of the year just a tad. And, even if our 14 overtime losses, like I said, if we could somehow reduce that down to like 5 or 6 and create the rest of those wins, we'd be up sitting with Pittsburgh here at the top. But here's the fun part. Who are we going to face in the first round of the playoffs as we look forward towards that? So we are the number 2 overall in the Central. And let's get a couple of days here. So this regular season's complete. We are facing off against the Nashville Predators. So as per usual, let's go take a quick look at their team and see what's going to happen with this matchup. So I don't want Anaheim. I want this one. So Nashville down here in the ends. Who do they got? So, all right. So they have a very good top 6. Obviously, the dynamic duo of Johansson and Turris there. Good forwards, good young forwards. All right, so their bottom 6 isn't that bad either. More of all right, so this should be a good matchup. Then they got the top 4 defensemen there. Their third line, they got Dahlstrom over there. But then their third line kind of sucks. So they probably have the edge in this series, I would guess. Goaltenders, I don't think Hutchinson's going to start that. I think Rene will start that. So what did he go this year? 33 and 26. Not bad, obviously. I think Saros did a little bit better than that. In the NHL for Hutchinson, 0-2. I mean, I guess we took Saros from them, but either way, so these guys got Lindbergh somehow. Apparently, they traded for him. But yeah, this is a first round opponent for us, the Nashville Predators. Pretty darn good opponent. Obviously, good top 4, good top 6, a good goaltender. So regardless, it's going to be a great matchup between us two, and I'm really looking forward to it. So next episode will be the entire playoff run, and hopefully it'll go a little bit better than last year, as Dallas is in the playoffs this year, and we're not facing them. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Let's go take a quick look at the bracket, or I guess they call it the playoff tree. I don't remember how this works, but us in Nashville, first matchup. The winner of that plays St. Louis versus Dallas. Then we got Arizona somehow making it versus Edmonton. And then we got Calgary versus Minnesota. On the Eastern Conference side, we got the Philadelphia Flyers versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, Penguins and Rangers. The actual first round matchup of Toronto and Boston in the real life. And then we got, a very good matchup. Tampa Bay versus Washington. So there's some pretty darn good matchups over there. I'll take a quick look at the AHL And apparently, oh, their season's not even done yet. So I guess we'll wait to find that out for them. But our AHL team already made the playoffs, so you'll love to see that. But like I said, guys, this is it for me today. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below. Next episode, we'll have the playoffs. Hopefully, we can get a little bit farther than we did this year. Hit the like button if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.